Well, hello, good evening, and welcome back to Ramo Investing, where we examine a spectrum of ideas to improve your long-term wealth. Now, tonight we are looking at the Spaceship app. Spaceship, an investment app, is proving to be a very popular option for investors in Australia. And tonight we're going to look at why exactly this is, how Spaceship works, what it can do for you, what kind of shares you can invest in using Spaceship, and of course how much it will cost. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we take a deep dive into the Spaceship app. So what exactly is Spaceship? Well, Spaceship is an investment company that offers two things: superannuation funds and called Spaceship Voyager. Now, we're not going to be discussing the superannuation product tonight. If you want to learn more about superannuation, I have a video about it, which you can look at right here. So tonight we're going to be discussing Spaceship Voyager. Now, Spaceship Voyager is an app that you can get it for your iPhone or Android phone, or you can also access it using a computer. And it's proving to be quite popular. Spaceship only recently surpassed $1 billion Australian dollars in assets under management, and it now has hundreds of thousands of users that all use Spaceship to invest. So, what is it about Spaceship that is so good? Well, as you can see by just the website, it is a very slick, very easy to use app with a very nice user interface. It makes investing relatively simple and easy, and this is one of the reasons why it's proving so popular. So what exactly does Spaceship do? Well, Spaceship provides you a means to invest. Now, unlike Raiz, which is another popular investment app that we've looked at on this channel, Spaceship only lets you invest in shares. There's no ETFs, there's no bonds, there's no cash, just shares. And very specific shares too. Most of the shares that Spaceship invests in through its app are either Australian companies or American companies, or at least listed in America. The portfolios that Spaceship offer, which we'll talk about more in a minute, are akin to more exchange-traded funds or ETFs. They're actually technically a managed fund structure, but they're not too different from investing in an ETF. But Spaceship designs these funds in a certain way, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. But unlike a managed fund, Spaceship has made it extremely easy to invest even small amounts of money at a time. So how exactly does Spaceship work? How do you invest money in it? Well, there are two ways you can really invest with Spaceship. You can either just put lump sums in, so you can connect your bank account to the Spaceship app and invest any amount of money you really want into a Spaceship fund, or you can set up a recurring investment. So you can say $10 a month, $50 a week, and you can just put this on autopilot. Unlike Raiz, Spaceship does not have a roundup feature, and it doesn't connect to your card or anything like that. So keep that in mind with this particular app. So looking at the Spaceship website, we can see the kind of interface it's really selling here. Everything is very smooth, everything is very slick, and it gives you an really easy way to understand where your money's going, which of course is very advantageous for anyone who's just starting out with investing. So let's now take a look at Spaceship's different portfolios, as I said before. Now, Spaceship offers three different portfolios: the Universe portfolio, the Origin portfolio, and the Earth portfolio. Now, each of these invests your money in a slightly different way, so we'll go into each one. Firstly, the Universe portfolio. Now, the Universe portfolio is Spaceship's sort of a flagship original portfolio, and it's the fund that's most like a managed fund. So it has an investment manager and a team that actively selects stocks. So this is not an index fund. It doesn't hold every share in the market. It only holds some shares, and I believe it's about 100. Just before we go any further, guys, it would really mean a lot to me if you just hit the like button on this video. It really helps out my small channel with the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't already, I'd love to have you on board as a subscriber as well. I love doing videos like this one, looking at investment products and services. So if that sounds like it's something that you would enjoy, we'd love to have you on board. But let's get back to the video. Now, Spaceship selects these 100 shares from a criteria called where the world is going. It basically selects shares that it sees as having a very promising future. Now, a lot of these are, of course, growth shares or shares that are involved in e-commerce, the internet, that kind of thing. But there's a few large blue chip shares in there as well. And you can see here that Spaceship even lists some. We have Spotify, Microsoft, Square, Apple, and Tesla. Now, if we go down a bit, it even gives us a little map to see where some of these countries are located. So we have 15.64% of Australian companies. We've got a very large chunk, 57.82% in US companies. And then we have a few more exposures through China, Japan, Taiwan. You get the picture. Scrolling down even further, we get a comprehensive list of all the companies in the Spaceship Universe portfolio. So we have Adobe, Activision Blizzard, A2 Milk, The list goes on and on. Domino's Pizza, Disney, Pushpay, Nvidia, all those kind of companies are all in the Spaceship Universe portfolio. And Spaceship does chop and change the holdings of this portfolio from time to time. They often kick companies out that they don't feel are performing well and include new ones that they feel might have a better shot at performing well in the future. Now, each of the companies that each of these funds invests in has a profile both on the app and on the desktop site, as you can see here. And this can be really helpful for new investors as well. So you can see here Nvidia. As you can see here with Nvidia, it's got its year-to-date performance, the share price, the size of the company, and exactly what the company does and why the Spaceship team has chosen it for the portfolio. It also talks a little bit about the risks here. So that again is a very useful feature for new investors in particular. Alright, turning to Spaceship Origin portfolio. And don't worry, we'll talk about performance in just a minute. Now, the Spaceship Origin portfolio is a lot more like an ETF. The managers aren't really concerned about picking stocks here. They just normally go with the biggest stocks on the markets. As you can see, there's giants like Apple, Johnson & Johnson, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, Google's Alphabet, and Amazon, of course. And if we go down, we get the same kind of thing. China, US, Australia, and some European shares as well. If we go further down, we can get a complete list of the companies in the Origin portfolio. So there's things like AT&T, the US communications giant, Adobe, Australia's Afterpay, Airbnb, which has recently floated on the US markets, AMP, the ASX itself, you get the idea. So if you ever want to check out one of Spaceship's fund's full portfolio holdings, just go to their website, it's all here, or on their app. Now finally we have this Spaceship Earth portfolio. Now this is a portfolio that has an ESG or ethical investing bent. So as you can see, Spaceship tries to select companies that have a positive impact on people and the planet. And they list some here such as Atlassian, Shopify, First Solar, Starbucks and Nvidia. So if we go down, you can see here that they list the kind of industries that they don't invest in. So you've got fossil fuels, tobacco and alcohol, gambling, animal cruelty, nuclear power, that kind of thing. And again, we have some very similar investment allocations across countries. Japan, big allocation to the US, slightly smaller allocation to Australia, and some European, South American, and even some New Zealand companies here. So there you go. Those are Spaceship's 3 portfolio offerings. Okay, so let's just have a quick talk about the performance of these 3 portfolios, because they do differ quite a bit. Now, just starting off quickly with the Spaceship Earth portfolio, this portfolio was only launched a few months ago, so they don't actually have any full performance data yet, so that's not really something we can look too far into just yet. However, the other 2 portfolios do have quite a bit of data, so let's have a look at Spaceship Universe first. Now, over the year ending 30 June, you can see here that the Universe portfolio has returned quite an impressive 46.18% over the 12 months to 30 June. It's also averaged 30.39% since its funding date back in May 2018. So that's quite an impressive portfolio performance in itself. Turning to the Origin portfolio, we'll just go back up to the performance here. And we can see that Origin portfolios returned 21.92% over the year ending 30 June 2021 and has averaged 12.25% per annum since its funding in May 2018. So not quite as impressive as the Spaceship Universe portfolio, but as I said before, this fund is more of an index fund rather than an actively managed fund like the Universe portfolio is. Now there's one last thing to talk about, and perhaps it's the most important thing to talk about, and that would be fees. So, of course, Spaceship is a company, it is not a charity, it will charge you for the privilege of investing through them. However, the Spaceship fees are not particularly high, either by ETF standards or by managed fund standards. Each portfolio will not charge you any investment fees if your portfolio size is under 5,000 Australian dollars. Not too bad to start with. Now, they only start charging you fees on any money you have in the fund over $5,000. So your first $5,000 is always free. So as you can see, these fees are both 0.1% per annum for both the Universe portfolio and the Earth portfolio, and 0.05% for the Origin portfolio. Again, that reflects its ETF-like nature. So as you can see on the bottom here, this is the kind of fee that you can expect to pay if you have $10,000 invested in either of these 2 funds, and the fee that you would pay for the Origin portfolio. So of course 0.1% of $5,000 is $5. So if you had $10,000 invested with Spaceship, you would be charged a fee of roughly $5 per year. Probably not going to break the bank there. It's a very competitive fee compared to other investing apps like Raiz and other ETFs or managed funds. Okay guys, that's all I have time for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really hope you found this video useful, and thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again with some more videos soon, but for now, good night.